Hello students, welcome to my channel Learning History Made Easy. In today's video, I will be continuing with the chapter-wise important questions. I hope it is helping you for your examination preparation. Before going into the video, if anyone is seeing the channel for the first time or if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and share it with your friends. And also click the bell button to receive notifications whenever I upload new videos. So without wasting time, let us get into the video. Today's video, I am going to discuss the important questions from chapter 4.2, the rise of new religion. So first, let us see the 1 mark and 2 mark questions. Who was the 23rd Tirthankara, Parshvanatha? Where was Vardhamana born? Kundagrama near Vaishali in 599 BC. Where did Vardhamana attain enlightenment? Jirimpika Grama in Bihar. Where did Vardhamana attain nirvana? Pava near Rajagriha at the age of 72 in 527 BC. Who were the parents of Vardhamana? King Siddhartha and Queen Trishala Devi. Mention any two among the three Ratnas of Vardhamana: right knowledge, right faith and right conduct. Which are the sects of Jainism? Shvetambaras and Digambaras. Who founded Buddhism? Gautama Buddha. Where was Buddha born? Lumbini Garden in Nepal. What was the original name of Buddha? Siddhartha. What was the meaning of the term Buddha? The enlightened one. In which place did Siddhartha attain enlightenment? Under a peepal tree at Gaya at the age of 35. Where did Buddha deliver his first sermon? Deer Park near Sarnath. Where did Buddha attain nirvana? Kushinagara in Uttar Pradesh at the age of 80. Who were the parents of Buddha? King Shuddhodana and Queen Maya Devi. Mention any two noble truths preached by Buddha. Worldly life is full of sorrow. Desire is a root cause for sorrow. Name any two kings who patronized Buddhism. Ashoka and Kanishka. Mention any two of the three Pitakas, Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, Abhidhamma Pitaka. Name the two sects of Buddhism, Hinayana and Mahayana. Now let us move on to the 5-mark questions. The first important question is, what were the factors responsible for the rise of new religion? So I will explain the answer. So the question is, factors for the rise of new religion. Factors for the rise of new religion. So if such a question comes for 5 marks, what all are the main points which you have to add in the answer? The first main factor responsible for the rise of new religion was complication in Vedic religion. Complication in the Vedic religion. So early Vedic age religion was very simple. But in later Vedic age, what happened was, later Vedic age religion started to become more complex. And due to this, and this happened due to the influence of priests and elaborate ceremonies. So priests were involved in this, as well as the ceremonies became more elaborate ceremonies. So this complication in Vedic religion was the first factor for the rise of new religion. The second factor is supremacy of priestly class. Supremacy of priestly class. That was the second factor for the rise of new religion. The Brahmanas established supremacy over the other caste. Priestly class was the Brahmanas. They established supremacy over the other caste and they enjoyed number of special privileges. Brahmanas started to enjoy a number of special privileges. So this also became a factor for the rise of new religion. The third point is animal sacrifice. The third factor responsible for the rise of new religion was animal sacrifice. Animal sacrifice was a very costly practice. First of all, it was a very costly practice and people started losing belief in religion. And the rites and rituals also became very complex. Okay, during later Vedic age, rites and rituals started to become very complex. So that made people to lose their belief in such religion. And for all worldly attainments, yagas or yajnas were recommended. Rites and rituals means like yagas and yajnas were recommended for any worldly achievements. So this also became a factor for the rise of new religion. So first factor was complication in Vedic religion, supremacy in priestly class, animal sacrifice. Now the next factor, that is a fourth factor, was chanting of mantras. Chanting of mantras was another factor responsible for the rise of new religion. That is, Vedic literature was basically in Sanskrit, and this language was mastered only by the priestly class. Sanskrit language was only mastered by the priestly class, and common people found it difficult to understand. So it was problem for common people to understand. Common people did not understand this, and that became a problem for the common people, and people started losing faith in chanting mantras because without knowing the meaning it was difficult for them to chant the mantras. The fifth point was caste system. Caste system was another factor responsible for the rise of a new religion, that is discrimination between caste. Discrimination between different castes, and Brahmanas enjoyed high status. There was a lot of discrimination, and Brahmanas enjoyed high status, whereas the Shudras always had to suffer. Shudras had to suffer. So this caste system, this caste discrimination also was a factor behind the rise of new religion. The last factor was birth of great personalities. Birth of great personalities. So it was during this time that two great personalities, that is, one is Mahavira and one is Gautama Buddha. These two great personalities came during this time, and the speciality of these two great personalities was their simple teachings, that is Vardhamana Mahavira and Gautama Buddha. The speciality of these two personalities was their simple teachings. Simple teachings. And they also preached in the language of common people. They preached in the language of common people. And this attracted people towards the new faith. So all these 6 factors were the factors responsible for the rise of new religion. So this is the first important 5-mark question. Now just let us go through the points which we have studied. See, I am explaining the points very fast in this video. If you want a detailed explanation, you can go to the chapter wise videos. It will be in the PUC chapter playlist. Each chapter is explained in detail there. So what were the factors responsible for the rise of new religion? Factors responsible for the rise of new religion. Complications in Vedic religion. Early Vedic age, religion was very simple. Later, it became complex due to the influence of priests and elaborate ceremonies. Second one, supremacy of the priestly class. Brahmanas established supremacy over other castes. They enjoyed a number of special privileges. Third one, animal sacrifices. This was a very costly practice. People started losing belief in the religion. Rites and rituals also became complex in later Vedic age. For all worldly attainments, yagas and rituals were recommended. Chanting of mantras. Vedic literature was in Sanskrit. This language was mastered by the priestly class, and common people found it difficult to understand. People started losing faith in chanting of mantra. Caste system. Discrimination existed among different castes. Brahmanas enjoyed high status and Shudras had to suffer. Birth of great personalities. Two great personalities, Mahavira and Gautama Buddha, preached simple principles of life in the language of common people. This attracted the common people towards the new faith. So all these six are the factors responsible for the rise of new religion. So the next important 5-mark question is discuss the life and teaching of Mahavira. So let us see that answer. The question will be life and teaching of Mahavira. Life and teaching of Mahavira. So first we are going to see about the life. This answer is in two parts. First is about life and then teaching. Vardhamana Mahavira was born in 599 BC in Kundagrama near Vaishali. Kundagrama near Vaishali. And the next point you have to write is his parents. His parents were King Siddhartha and Queen Trishala Devi. Queen Trishala Devi were his parents. Now Vardhamana married Princess Yashoda at the age of 18. He married Princess Yashoda at the age of 18 and they had a daughter named Anuja or Priyadarshini. Okay, Anuja or Priyadarshini. That was their daughter. Now, due to the sudden death of his parents, Vardhamana, he renounced worldly life. So, he renounced worldly life due to the sudden death of his parents, and he lived the life of self-mortification and deep meditation for 13 years. And he attained enlightenment. Vardhamana attained enlightenment at a place called as Jrimbika Grama. Jrimbika Grama, he attained enlightenment. Now, after attaining enlightenment, Vardhamana came to be called as Jina or the conqueror. He came to be called as Jina or the conqueror who subdued all his passion. And he came to be called as Mahavira. He came to be called as Mahavira. Then he continued preaching all his principles. So he continued preaching his principles in different places, and finally he attained nirvana at a place called as Pava near Rajagriha. Rajagriha, he attained nirvana. So this was about the life of Mahavira, that is from his birth to his parents' name and how did he renounce his worldly life after getting enlightenment, what was he called as, and then how he preached his principle, and finally he attained nirvana at a place called as Pava near Rajagriha. Then next subheading is his teachings. So first we finished the life of Mahavira, then the teachings of Mahavira. The teachings of Mahavira is called as 5 vows. He preached 5 vows called as Panchashila, and he also said about 3 jewels, that is Triratna. 5 vows Panchashila and 3 jewels Triratnas. So what were those 5 vows? The 5 vows were Satya, that is truth. Second, Ahimsa, non-violence. Third one, Asteya, non-stealing, that is not to steal. Fourth one, Aparigraha, non-possession of property more than required. And last one, Brahmacharya or chastity. These were the 5 vows or Panchashila. Now what were the 3 jewels? The first one was right knowledge. Second one, right faith. And third was right conduct. So these were the main teachings of Vardhamana. He said about the 5 vows Panchashila and the 3 jewels, that is 3 Ratnas. Now after that Vardhamana Mahavira did not believe in the existence of God, but he believed in the existence of soul. So he did not believe in the existence of God, but he believed in the existence of soul. That was the belief of Vardhamana Mahavira, and he was always against caste system. He was against caste system, and he was also against the sacrificial rituals. And the most important thing which he gave importance was non-violence. He gave importance to non-violence or ahimsa. And he believed that all plants and animals have life. And he had 11 disciples. Vardhamana Mahavira had 11 disciples known as Ganadharas. Okay. So all these points you have to include in the question life and teaching of Vardhamana Mahavira. So we'll just go through the points which we have studied till now. Discuss the life and teachings of Mahavira. Vardhamana Mahavira. He was born in 599 BC at Kundagrama near Vaishali. His parents were King Siddhartha and Queen Trishala Devi. Vardhamana married Princess Yashoda at the age of 18. His daughter's name was Anuja or Priyadarshini. Due to the sudden death of his parents, Vardhamana renounced worldly life. He lived the life of self-mortification and deep meditation for 13 years. Vardhamana attained enlightenment at Jrimbigagrama in Bihar. He attained the highest spiritual knowledge called Kaivalya. He was called as Jina, the conqueror who had subdued his passion. Vardhamana came to be known as Mahavira. He travelled preaching the principles of Jainism in Kosala, Magadha, Videha and Anga. He attained Nirvana at Pava near Rajagriha at the age of 72 in 527 BC. Teachings of Mahavira. He preached 5 vows called as Panchashila and 3 jewels for the attainment of salvation. The 5 great vows Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Aparigraha and Brahmacharya. The 3 jewels are 3 Ratnas, right knowledge, right faith, right conduct. Mahavira did not believe in the existence of God, but he believed in the existence of soul. He condemned caste system and sacrificial rituals. He gave importance to non-violence. He believed that animals, plants, stones, etc. too have life. He had 11 disciples known as Ganadharas. So all these points you can include in the question life and teachings of Mahavira. Now the last important essay question is sketch the life and teachings of Buddha. Now let us see how we will answer this question. This is a very important 10-mark question, that is life and teaching of Buddha. So here also we will have to write the answer in 2 parts, that is first part is life, second part is teachings. So Gautama Buddha, he was a founder of the religion of Buddhism. He was born at a place called as Lumbini Garden. Birthplace is Lumbini Garden. In 563 BC, Buddha was born. Lumbini Garden. And Buddha's parents were King Shuddhodana and Queen Maya Devi. Queen Maya Devi were his parents. His early name, Buddha's early name was Siddhartha. His early name was Siddhartha. And Maya Devi died when Siddhartha was a child of 7 days, and he was brought up by his aunt. His aunt's name was Mahaprajapati Gautami. Mahaprajapati Gautami, because his mother passed away when he was a very small child of 7 days. That time he was taken care by his aunt Mahaprajapati Gautami. And he married Princess Yashodhara. He married Princess Yashodhara, and they had a son. Son's name was Rahula. So this was about the basic early life of Siddhartha. Later, what happened in his life was, once Siddhartha went out of the palace and he saw four scenes in his life. Four scenes, that is, one is an old man, then a sick man, the third scene was a funeral procession, and the last scene was of a sage or a sannyasi. So he saw four scenes in his life, and what happened was, in the first three scenes he saw only sorrow and suffering. In the first three scenes he saw sorrow and suffering. So what was the first three scenes? That is, an old man, a sick man, a funeral procession. In these three he saw only sorrow and suffering, and in the fourth scene he found out happiness. The sage or the sannyasi, he found out happiness in that scene. This affected the life of Siddhartha, and he decided to renounce the worldly life. So Siddhartha renounced worldly life after he was impacted by these four scenes. And this event is called as the Great Renunciation. When Siddhartha left all the worldly life, that event is called as Great Renunciation. Then he was wandering around as an ascetic, and finally he attained enlightenment at a place called as Gaya under a peepal tree at the age of 35. From that time onwards, Siddhartha came to be called as Buddha, that is, the enlightened one. And he was also called as Tathagata, that is, one who has realized the truth. So these were the two names which Siddhartha was later called. Now his religion, the religion which he founded, was Buddhism, and he proceeded and he gave his first sermon at the deer park at Sarnath. Buddha gave his first speech. Okay, he delivered his first sermon. This was called as Dharma Chakra Pravartana. Okay, so here Buddha delivered his first sermon. First sermon was in Deer Park near Sarnath, which was called as Dharma Chakra Pravartana. The symbol of Buddhism is Dharma Chakra. Okay, it is symbol of Buddhism. Now Buddha traveled around preaching, and finally he attained parinirvana at a place called as Kushinagara. Attained nirvana at a place called as Kushinagara. And Buddha's birth, then his enlightenment, and the day in which he attained nirvana, all falls on full moon day, and his birthday is famous as Buddha Purnima. So these were the points regarding the life of Buddha. Now we move on to the next part of the answer, that is teachings of Buddha. Buddha preached four basic principles. So in his teaching, he preached four basic principles. Now what were these four basic principles? Same as Mahavira's: Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, and fourth is Brahmacharya. Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, and Brahmacharya. Now he also preached four noble truths. Now what were the four noble truths preached by Buddha? The first one he said is, worldly life is full of sorrows. Worldly life is full of sorrows. So after seeing the four scenes in his life, he realized that worldly life is full of sorrows. The second is, desire is the root cause for sorrow. Desire is the root cause for all these sorrows in worldly life. Then he realized that when desire ceases means stops. When desire ceases, rebirth also ceases. That is, when desire stops, rebirth also stops. And how can someone overcome desire? Desire can be overcome by following something called as Ashtanga Marga. Ashtanga Marga. Desire can be overcome by following Ashtanga Marga. So this was the main 4 noble truths preached by Buddha. Now what are Ashtanga Marga? Ashtanga means 8. So what is Ashtanga Marga? Ashtanga Marga consists of 8 main principles. That is, first one is right faith, then right thought, right speech, right conduct, right effort, right meditation, right livelihood, and right mindfulness. So all these together are called as Ashtanga Marga. Right faith, second is right thought, right speech, right conduct, right effort, right meditation, right livelihood, and eighth is right mindfulness. So all these were included in the Ashtanga Marga, and following Ashtanga Marga, desire can be overcome. And Buddha also gave importance to conduct but not rituals and sacrifice. He also was against caste system. Buddha was against caste system, and he always gave importance to equality. Equality was given importance, and also ahimsa or non-violence also was given importance. Both men and women were admitted to the Sangha. The Buddhist Sangha, both men and women were admitted, and he never made reference to God. So all these points have to be included in the answer, Life and Teaching of Buddha, which is a very important essay. So let us go through the points once more. Sketch the life and teachings of Buddha. He was a founder of Buddhism. He was born at Lumbini Garden in 563 BC. His early name was Siddhartha. His parents were King Shuddhodana and Queen Maya Devi. Maya Devi died when Siddhartha was a child of 7 days, and he was brought up by his aunt Mahaprajapati Gautami. He married Princess Yashodhara at the age of 16. His son was Rahula. Once when Siddhartha went out of the palace, he saw an old man, a sick man, a funeral procession, and a sage. In the first 3 scenes, he saw only sorrows and sufferings. He found happiness in the fourth. These 4 sights affected the life of young Siddhartha, and he decided to renounce the worldly life. He left his wife, his child, parents, and the kingdom, and went out to find the cause of all the sorrows. This event is known as the Great Renunciation. He spent the life of a wandering ascetic. He attained enlightenment under a peepal tree at Gaya at the age of 35. From then onwards, he came to be known as Buddha, meaning the enlightened one. He was also called as Tathagata, meaning one who has realized the truth. His religion came to be called as Buddhism. He proceeded to the deer park near Sarnath and delivered his first sermon. This was called Dharma Chakra Pravartana, or turning the wheel of Dharma. The symbol of Buddhism is Dharma Chakra. Buddha travelled around and preached his principles for 45 years. He attained Parinirvana at Kushinagara in UP at the age of 80. Edwin Arnold calls him the light of Asia. Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and death were all on the full moon day Purnima. His birthday is famous as Buddha Purnima. Now let us move on to the teachings of Buddha. Buddha preached 4 basic principles: Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Brahmacharya, and he also preached 4 noble truths. Worldly life is full of sorrow. Desire is the root cause for sorrow. When desire ceases, rebirth ceases. Desire can be overcome by following Ashtanga Marga. Ashtanga Marga consists of right faith, right thought, right conduct, right speech, right effort, right meditation, right livelihood, and right mindfulness. Buddha gave importance to conduct, not rituals and sacrifices. He was against caste system. He advocated equality and gave importance to ahimsa. He admitted men and women of all castes into the Sangha, and he did not refer to God. So all these were the teachings of Buddha. So together, when you write all these points, it will be a perfect 10-mark answer for the question, Life and Teaching of Gautama Buddha. So I hope you understood all the points very clearly. This chapter is a very important chapter. Probable 5-mark and 10-mark questions will come from this chapter. So please go through the answers again and again. And also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Many of you seeing the channel have not subscribed. So your likes, shares and subscriptions will be of a great encouragement for me to make more and more videos. So I hope to see you all soon in the coming video. Thank you for watching.